Good Monday morning, my peeps. It's Adrienne Talks, and I wanted to talk about how do you spend your time. So, a lot of people have been asking as we're doing this goal setting and stuff. I've gotten a lot of, well, where do you put your time? Like, where do you focus the most? How do you manage everything? All those questions that we each do differently, and we all have our own ways. But direct sales has changed a ton since I started in 2007, and obviously a big change in 2020. So it's been hard for a lot of people to keep their business and keep rocking their business and where to put their time and how to do it all, right? And so people are wondering why. Well, I think it's because we've lost a lot of the basics, right? In 2007, when I started, social media was barely even a thought in the selling process. Everything was in person, right? We were out in people's houses, doing events, things like that, getting to know people face to face. And I don't I don't think anything but face to face and events were successful at the time. There might have been a few people doing the online selling, but that just wasn't the way of the world. And when you got into any company, they were telling you all about how to do these parties or how to meet people or how to have personal interactions with people. And with these events and stuff, I still have a ton of my clients from those early days when I was doing all of this. I created so many of these relationships, right? By going and I'd have a party at one person's house, and then her friend would be like, "Hey, I'll have a party," right? And then I would go host over there and see that past host again and some of the same people and a bunch of new people and keep going, right? This was the format that direct sales was built on, is creating relationships and seeing people over and over again and showing them the value of your product, obviously is a huge part of that. But that's what it all was about, was this relationship building. And when it was about 2010 is when I got serious about my business. There was an Alaskan cruise incentive that was launched, and I had always wanted to do that. And so had my husband. So I knew I had to do something different to grow my business. So this incentive took me from like a one party a quarter type consultant to an actual, I'm going to work my business like a boss woman type consultant, right? I really want this. And it's funny how that's all it took, right? The right incentive. And I just changed my thoughts and away I went. And so you're probably like, well, what'd you do different? What'd you change? Well, I had those in-person events going and I knew I had to do more. So that's obviously one, but the big thing I added was client care. And I just knew, like, I met these people, but what if I followed up, made sure they got their products, right? After a couple of months, made sure they use them, or if they needed ideas or whatever, that I was going to be there for them, right? Like, that's my purpose, is to help them use what they get from me. So, so many people get their items and they just sit in a box. And so I was going to be the one to keep them excited, get them to take them out of the box, use them, and, see how I could help them. So I added this to my list of things to do, you guys, and it really worked because, I don't know if you know the stats, but usually people have to hear from you at least 7 times before they start to even think about you or trust you. That's a lot when I think about again, and I know I've said it tons of times in direct sales, the amount of people who have followed up with me, asked me to have another party, asked me how my products were, it's slim to none, you guys. People aren't doing that. And so when I added this to the list of things to do, it worked. People enjoyed hearing from me. And then the cool thing was, after time, people started reaching out to me to ask me, "Hey, how long do I put this in the oven for?" Hey, because that was, I'm in the food, but even jewelry, whatever, like, what do I wear with this color? There's so many different things that people need help with. They're not the experts. You are. You get to be the person that helps them with that. You get to give them ideas if you're following up and asking them. Or even better, what I love is when my clients give me ideas, right? Like, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you know what I did with it? I did this." And I'm like, "Whoa, I have to try that." Right. So it's so fun when you start creating that relationship. And so, these people, instead of just seeing them once or twice a year, I'm now contacting them, maybe once a month or so, like that, just because they are asking me questions. I'm asking them, I'm getting to know them. And now the key I want to also say here is that this is not buy from me client care. That is not what client care is. It's, how was your vacation? How's the family doing? I know last time we talked, you were talking about XYZ. How did it go? It's caring, you guys. It's making friends, sharing in their lives. It's client care, it's caring. And so I want you to know that that's a huge differentiation, because so many people, they're like, oh, yeah, I client care. I send people when there's a sale. That's not client care, that's sales. I want you to think about the fact that, what do you love when people call you? You love when they ask you, how you doing? What's going on, right? That's what it's all about. So I really want you to think about that too with your client care. But that was a huge thing that propelled my business forward, because people started also referring me, right? They knew that I was going to take care of you. They knew I was going to give you ideas. They knew I was always going to be there. And so that's a huge thing too, is as you up your client care game, you're going to probably get referrals too, which is amazing. Everybody likes that, right? People are coming to you. So now, like I said in the beginning, this was kind of the basis of my business, how I kept earning trips and doing things. And then we had 2020, guys. Now I know some of us were doing online parties and stuff like that, but a lot of the business was still in person and client care. And like I said, for me, it was working. It was amazing, but boom, right? The in-person world kind of shut down. And at the time, I was kind of scared. I didn't know what my business was going to do. But the blessing came because it gave me a third way that I could focus on my business, right? Online. So many consultants and different companies learned how to have better online parties, to use social media in a way that's helping others, like the client care calls, but in a larger setting, right? We learned how to do social selling. So that's awesome, right? But every yay, there's usually an A that comes along with it, right? So we are all online, everybody's doing everything. And then we kind of stopped this face to face because we had to, in events and parties and all that stuff. So we stopped. And guess what? A lot of people in our industry never picked it back up. So they kind of, and some didn't even ever pick up that client care. They were just having online party after online party, going, going, going. And so there are some reasons this has been really hard on consultants, as the more and more we get back in person and the less people are on social media. Because as we get more in person, people are spending less time in front of their computers. Now, of course, people are still on their computers. Online parties are still working. So that's what I'm saying. It gave us this third avenue. But we have to think of some things, because what I noticed is with this, surge in online, people kind of let host coaching go by the wayside, right? They weren't working as closely with their hosts and reminding them how to invite and stuff like that, because at the time people were just inviting and people were there because they had nothing else to do. We were stuck at home. So they didn't know why their host wanted to party or what they were excited about, or working side by side with them like they did in person. People kind of also quit going outside their comfort zone, right? Posting on social media is easy. But going face to face and putting on our big girl or big boy panties, right? And standing in front of people and sharing our love of the products in front of a group of people, this took some growth on a lot of people's part when they started the business. And a lot of people that started after 2020 never really had to do that part, right? So this is really hard, because so many consultants didn't realize how they could really share the art of their product, what they love to do, and their business in these larger settings. They just learned how to do it online. And also, like I said, a lot of people quit connecting with people. They just learned to post on social media, and they quit kind of that interaction on the side. Now, some people have it and it's great. And if you're doing this, you're one step up. It's like, when people are commenting on your parties, creating that relationship on the backside, asking them about their family and vacations and concerns and their loves and their hates and those types of things, right? So you can help them. So a lot of these conversations in this client care was lost, right? So these three things have really added up over the years as people are slowly making their way away from the computers. So now that we're back in person and people are creating that craving that in-person connection, a lot of people started their business during COVID. And so they haven't, like I said, they hadn't learned this face-to-face. They didn't learn a lot of these things. So what I love is my friend Debbie shared with me the triangle. So there's a triangle that your business should have, and anyone in direct sales should have it. Three parts to your business that you should touch them every day, week, or however you manage your business, right? I'm more of a daily task person. Some people are weekly, some, however you do it, you should really make sure the three sides of this triangle are balanced. So what are they, you ask? Well, I just talked to you about all three of them. So the face-to-face. So you still want to be meeting people. You still want to go out and meet new people. That's a huge part. I even have somebody on my team who loves to just chat with people while she's out and about and brings up her business. I mean, that's face to face. It doesn't have to be huge social selling events, which I love, but some people love events. I like more the parties, but different ways to meet people face to face. Then you have your internet side, right? Your selling and all of that we learned a lot in the last few years. And then you have your client care. You still need to be caring for people. And so when you balance your business with all three of these avenues, you're going to see an amazing difference in your sales, your sponsoring, and your leader development on your team, because you're going to be taking care of all the people and kind of learning all the ways that direct sales works. Yes, some people might spend a little bit more time online or a little more time on person or a little more time with client care, right? We all have the things that we truly enjoy to do more than others, and everyone's different. And that's the beauty of this business, is we get to pick. But I highly recommend you be writing down what you're doing for these three things as you're managing your business, to see if you're slowing in one side or another. You might need to build it up a little bit, because when you're focusing on these three things, I promise you, your business is going to skyrocket. So I'm going to ask what you do this week, so I can help you and you can help others, is come share which one of those three do you feel you really need help in? And which one do you shine in? Which one are you amazing at? And if you shine, or I know you shine in one of those areas, but when you're writing that, share a tip, because I think that we can learn from each other, because what I do that I think is amazing in client care might not be what you do. And how you do face-to-face might be different, but somebody could really relate to that and change up their business. That is the beauty of direct sales, is as we share different things that are working for us, other people have ideas and go, oh man, I could do that. No matter what industry you're in, whether you're selling, makeup, clothes, whatever it is you're selling, you can learn from other people. And that's what I absolutely love, is the collaboration. So if you can come to our Facebook community and share, what do you think you need help in and where you shine, and one tip that you would share where you shine, so we can all learn from each other. So until next week, you guys, when Adrienne talks, realize the power is within you.